Hello, everybody, and today we're going to be going over the three possible, or my three, at least prediction possible 2020 scenario things that could occur for 2020. One of them will be a Joe Biden landslide election, which is, or just honestly a blowout, because that would be based off of if polling data is accurate in a lot of these states. And then one, obviously, is a closer one with Trump winning and a closer one with Biden winning. And those two I definitely see being a lot more feasible than the Biden blowout. However, I do think it is a scenario, given that the polling is just pretty much pretty much suggests Biden's going to win the election very big. But let's get right into it. So this is the Joe Biden landslide scenario election. Any one of those possible trending red states wouldn't really be a concern. Be completely safe, pretty much. Yeah. So then, safe Republican states, not Montana, because some polls have it closer over there. So this is honestly an electoral map based off of these polls. Kansas isn't even safe. Mississippi wouldn't be safe. This is honestly just based off of what they're saying. But, I mean, this is not exactly what I believe will happen. But 77, 183, and then likely Biden states, likely would be New Hampshire, Michigan, Maine at large, New Mexico, Colorado, Virginia. And I think that's it. Now, likely Republican states would be Alaska, Kansas, Montana, Mississippi, Indiana. And then that's it. So, 232 to 106, already pretty much a blowout for Biden, but we'll keep going. The lean states, there's going to be a ton of lean states. That would be Maine 2nd Congressional District, Arizona, Nevada, the whole Rust Belt, Florida, and then that's what I think it is for lean Joe Biden states. So he's at 319. That's honestly most people's projections there. And this is honestly why I think the polls are off. However, this is a possible scenario. Oh, and Nebraska 2nd. And then we go to lean Republican states. I do want to make this video a little bit quicker, but just basically South Carolina and Missouri, lean Republican, bringing Trump to 125. That's honestly about as low as I think he could possibly get. I don't see Biden really winning Montana, Missouri, South Carolina. At least I don't see a Democrat winning at this election. And then we go to tilt states. So tilt Democrat, Ohio and Iowa first, and North Carolina is what I think we all projected. And there is one tilt Republican. I still think Texas would go Republican. Still, most polls suggest it's going to go Republican. However, with the polling data right now, they have it as some polls have it as ties. Now I know the polls are narrowing up, but I'm going based off of a lot of those quote A-rated pollsters from 538. But the polls are narrowing up overall, but some polls have it very close in Texas, and then Georgia would go to Biden, giving him 375 to 163. Now that was pretty much my Biden best case scenario video, which I did a few days ago. Actually, I don't even know if I did a Biden best case. I think I just did a Trump best case. Actually, I did both. So yeah. So this is one possible scenario that I do see happening on election day. If a lot of these polls, like NBC poll or Marist or CNN polls, are right, then this is definitely something that could happen. However, I don't think it will. And I'm going to be going over the scenarios which I believe are going to be a lot more likely. So you know what? I'll just reset the map to make it blank. Here I can turn it back to Biden and Trump. And let's go over safe Biden states. Now, this election is going to have a slight Biden victory, which I believe is a lot more possible. And the Trump victory is a lot more possible than the previous prediction, which is why I didn't really spend much time on it. So the slight Biden victory, most states, would still be pretty safe for Biden. It is a victory, of course. And then there you have it, 168. I think I got everything. And then safe for Trump. Montana would be safe. I'm pretty confident Montana is a safe state. And then that would be safe Trump, so 103. I'm going to give Indiana for Trump as a safe state. So, what next? Okay, let's just go to likely Biden states. Now, if this is a Biden best case scenario, or not best case, what am I saying? A Biden victory, I do think states like Virginia and New Mexico would be likely. Obviously, Oregon, Connecticut would be likely, not North Carolina. But states like that are trending blue and do have Biden pretty significantly up in the polls. Although this isn't based off of the complete polls, but I still would think it's likely. Also, trends, Senate elections of 2018, and governor elections. I'd give Biden a victory in Virginia and New Mexico. And those are frankly the only likely Democrat states that I see for, but pretty strong for him, given that Virginia Bush won in like '04. So it's been competitive for a while, but it's really losing its competitive streak. Now, for lean Trump or likely Trump states would be South Carolina, Missouri, Alaska, and I'm gonna go with that would be it. So 125 to 201. And then lean Biden states would be it would be New Hampshire and Maine at large. And then it would be Minnesota and Michigan. Would be lean Biden states. Those are the two states where Trump is a little bit lagging in. Trump is better, does have a stronger appeal, slightly stronger, at least in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Michigan and Minnesota are a little bit more blue. Now, obviously, a lot of things can change in 4 years. However, I still think that they'd be more blue in the next election. Now, and I'm sorry, I forgot about Colorado and Nevada and Arizona. Actually, not Arizona. We'll talk about Arizona. I'll make that a tilt state. Okay. I think that's it for lean with Joe Biden. Now, lean Trump is going to be Texas, Ohio, Iowa. And I'm actually going to leave Georgia out. Biden does think it's competitive. I trust that. I do think it's closer. It's going to be a lot closer than 2016. Maybe 1 to 2 points Trump victory. I'm going to give it to Trump in a few seconds, but I'll keep it in the tilt toss-up category. Oh, and Maine 2nd Congressional District would be lean for Trump. Now, tilt for Biden, and I'm going to go back and forth. Obviously, Biden will win, but we'll go over it. So 249, Nebraska 2nd would tilt for Biden. He'd win it by 1 to 2 points. That would be a 4-point shift. So this honestly is an election where Biden does 3-4% better than Hillary, maybe 1-2%, 1 to 3 actually, percent better than Hillary. Not to scale though, but just assuming a lot of this, this is just assuming Biden outperforms Hillary. Now that may be true, they may be not. It's not based off of Joe Biden's enthusiasm because he really doesn't have many or anything. It'd be based off of anti-Trump enthusiasm. So also tilt Biden. Arizona would tilt Biden, as well as the Rust Belt would go. Chromebook. Okay. I'll get a tilt Trump now. And I'm going to say Georgia would tilt Trump. Still, like I said, I was going to give it to Trump. He'll probably end up winning by 1 to 2 points, but still a victory for him nonetheless. And finally, I'm going to have North Carolina tilt for Trump. That'll get him to 219. And I'll give Florida to Biden. Biden obviously up with elderly support. Florida is a slightly closer state than North Carolina in most elections. North Carolina does tilt Republican. I guess Romney was the only toss-up state Romney won in 2012, but he did win it. So I do think that this would be a little bit of a closer election with Biden and Trump. Definitely a lot more feasible. Something like a 2016 election. Now we're going to go over a Trump victory. So let's first shift all these states let me show you what this new map is. And I do think that if Biden is going to win the election, he's going to win Florida. And that's not me saying that. That is just me thinking like, okay, if everything else is going to go for Biden, then he'll probably win Florida. Not so much North Carolina, but Florida definitely being a state that usually sides with the president. And I think it does have a streak. I mean, Obama won it, Trump won it, Bush won it. I don't really know about Clinton, so I guess it goes a little bit back, but this is the Biden-Trump map, which is probably one of the more likely scenarios. But I do believe with the Trump victory, that is the most likely scenario because I have that as my prediction. But 319, 219, definitely a lot closer than the 375. So let's reset it. Let's get back to a blank map. And I might try using that YA maps.com, but I'm right now using 270. to win. I like the format. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. But let's go to safe Biden states for the final possible scenario for 2020. No, I'll be pretty tough with this. Okay. And then, actually, you know what? I'm going to give him Washington and Illinois as safe states. Now for safe Trump, because I really don't want to deal with Montana and all this trash, I'll just give him Alaska. Alaska might be a little bit closer, but it definitely could be a safe margin. Republican governor won that state in 2018. Obviously, Republican state, just a little bit closer than a Wyoming. Okay, 184 to 95. And then we'll go to likely Biden states. That is Maine's first, as well as, no, actually, no, not Virginia yet. New Jersey, Connecticut, and that's going to be about it. Likely Trump states are South Carolina, Missouri, and Indiana. And then here we get into the good stuff. Oregon, like I always put it, is a lean state. And these four, as I always like to say, these three are trending blue. This is trending red. But to focus more attention on the crucial states for Trump and the crucial states for Biden. So I'm going to narrow it down a little bit more. Went over this. Texas, Iowa, Ohio, all would be lean margins. It would decrease from their margins in 2016. You know, Trump won these two states by 9-10 points. That would obviously decrease, probably winning it by 4 or 5 points. Same with Texas. Georgia, he may win by 2 or 3, a little bit less. But I put that in the lean category as well. And I'll actually, no, I'm not going to give it to him yet. Okay, so 210 to 203. Biden's still in the lead, but obviously that is now going to change because we are focusing on tilt states. With Maine at large, I do see Biden still carrying that state and a Trump win, or that at large district, but definitely a lot more competitive than the other predictions. So, tilt Republican, tilt Trump, obviously, are self-explanatory. Florida, North Carolina would both have to go for a Trump victory, and I do think that they have a very good shot at going. Yeah, Trump's been campaigning there. He's really diverting a lot of his attention to the industrial Rust Belt. He must think he does have a very good shot at Florida. He did do some campaigning there. North Carolina really hasn't been campaigning much. His family's doing a lot there, though. Anyway, 247, he'll also take Nebraska second. So, did I give him Maine's first? Oh, I forgot about Maine's first. Sorry. Maine's first goes to him in the lean margin. Okay, so now tilt Trump. Okay, I'll go to tilt Biden now. Nevada would tilt Biden. Now, for the tilt Trump states, I will give him Pennsylvania, which is going to need to tilt for Trump if he wants to win. He needs to win Pennsylvania. That's pretty basic. I know I went over the scenarios up here, but 2 out of the 3 scenarios in the previous thing where Trump's path to victory had him winning Pennsylvania, so it is pretty crucial for him. I also have him winning Wisconsin, and I'm going to go back to the tilt Biden. New Hampshire would tilt Biden. Obviously, he has to win now, but what's going to happen with these 3 states? Well, I think he'll win Michigan in a scenario, and I do think that Minnesota would tilt red. Now, this is a change that I am making in my prediction, and if I'm completely wrong, then tell me in 3 days now, 4 days. But I do think that in a Trump victory, he could win Minnesota. That would expand his lead, but that would be the whole Rust Belt going for Trump. And then also the state of Arizona would tilt to Trump. So 2 states that I previously, and this is not my updated 2020 prediction. This is my chart. This is 3 possible scenarios. Trump would win Minnesota and Arizona. 2 flips that I have, but from 2016 anyway. This is a scenario that I think is more likely than the Biden landslide. Maybe it's a little bit less likely than the other Biden victory, but I do think it's definitely possible. So let's go to the main map where we color in all the states. And this map is going to look a little bit weird too. I guess it's just gaining one state from 2016, but yeah, it's possible. 316, 222, Trump victory. And the reason why I gave him Minnesota is because he's been campaigning there. He has a rally today. He's really diverted all of the rest of his campaign money to the Rust Belt. So he wants to win there, and he thinks he can win it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for 70 subscribers. Um, that was something I said we could try and hit by election day. We got it a few days before, which is pretty awesome. Definitely not what I expected. But anyway, thank you guys so much for the subscribing. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe. Continue to subscribe anyway for more content. If we got to 75, I know I'll keep raising the bar, but well, why not, I guess. 75 would be insane, getting that by election day. But, if you like what I have, if you like my predictions, I guess, and my content, then please subscribe. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day, and stay tuned.